Did you ever feel like a possession to the narcissist rather than a person in the relationship? Today, I want to talk to you about how the narcissist owns you. You think he owns you. And in all reality, a lot of times, narcissist comes across and illustrates by their actions and by how they actually control and manipulate the conversation and the relationship that they do own you. We're going to talk about that today and break it down in a different way to hopefully have you understand how the narcissist perspective is about owning you as a piece of property and also about you getting free. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness of narcissistic abuse. I help break people free from the mental, the emotional bond that they get stuck with, this obsessive thinking about the toxic person in and out of the relationship, and ultimately how to be free from this person mentally and emotionally. If I can help you with that, and if you want to know more about that, go to claritychallenge.net. Would love to be able to help you out breaking free from the toxicity that's still controlling you even after the relationship. Part of what's going on is this aspect that the narcissist actually thinks that he owns you. Like whether you're together or whether you're apart, you are his. Like no matter what. It's almost like he puts a brand or a label on you that says, no matter if you're in this relationship or if you're in the next relationship, you still are mine, no matter what. And so you get to this place where you start to think that there's no hope for you, that there's no healing possible, that you're not able to actually be free mentally, emotionally, even physically. And no matter what you do, like you're always going to be sucked back to this person. Maybe it's even been shown to you early in the relationship that you all are soulmates. Maybe he's conditioned you to think that I'm the only person for you. And as a result, as you continue to move through life, you're still going to be stuck with him no matter what. Like there's not an end in sight. You see, narcissists often believe that they possess you, like not just the relationship, but your body, your soul. Even when the relationship is over, you're still theirs. Did you ever have that feeling? Because like this aspect of like viewing partners, the narcissist views the partner in the relationship as almost an extension of themselves. And it creates this unhealthy sense of ownership of like, hey, I actually own you. You are mine. And if you decide to leave me, okay, but you're still mine. You're still going to come back to me. You're still going to be like the person that I care about, that I love, like all of these lies. And there's still this aspect of like, it is like, I'm owning you. And so a narcissist like believes this, very much so. And it's not even necessarily a sense of like, I believe that I own you. It's more of this entitled piece. Like, I am entitled to you because you are mine. So why would someone else get you? Why would you go to someone else? Why would you reject me to be with someone else? Like there's so many different aspects. Think of it this way. Like imagine you've got a narcissistic ex-boyfriend who monitors you. Like you've been apart, you've been separated, but he still monitors you, sending you messages on social media, like watching like your posts, seeing what's going on, maybe commenting, maybe like responding to things, DMing you. And in one sense, he's acting like possessive long after the breakup and almost like acting like the breakup never even happened. And you might have even said like, hey, we're breaking up. And he's like, I don't accept that. Like that's not happening. Like this is not happening to me. Because part of it is you might be attacking his ego. Like his ego of like you're breaking up with him versus him breaking up with you. And it's almost like he refuses to accept your autonomy as a human being. You'll see this so many times where narcissists after the breakup or after like you move forward, they're like, nope, this isn't happening because you can't actually do this to me. Again, it all comes back to the narcissist. It all comes back to my perspective. You can't do this to me. Like that's the main focus. Then you move into like more of the vindictive piece, like more of the piece that sometimes gets really scary, especially when you have a narcissist that moves into physical abuse, more stalking, all this aspect. But the second aspect is like the idea of like if he can't have you, no one can. Like if he's not able to be in a relationship with you, then well, no one else is going to do this. So this is going to actually turn really dark or really bad really quickly. And so, like, you have narcissists that are driven with this intense need for control of another person. Now, it's not always just control over you. Typically, it's control of the narrative of them. You just are a byproduct of let's manipulate you to get what I want. So think of it this way: the narcissist is trying to keep and maintain a story to himself, to other people, to his coworkers, to his family, whatever it might be. He's trying to maintain the story. And so this intense like control of like I have to keep the story that makes me look good oftentimes means they're going to also try to control you. Now, the hard thing is when they no longer can control you. Like when you're starting to take back your power, when you're starting to understand who you are, to stand up for yourself, to draw a line in the sand, to set up boundaries, to move forward without them, like this is where it's like, uh-oh, like it's spiraling. This is where it resorts a lot of times to like them pulling out different levels of threats, threatening you about leaving the relationship, threatening your life, your safety, your security, the people in your life, trying to intimidate you and trying to put you in a place of like, oh, well, maybe I need to go back to them. All this is a control play. It shows that this person doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, doesn't respect you. But a lot of times people will still think that they do because of the things that they're saying. Sometimes you'll have like the threats of self-harm where the narcissist will be like, if you do this, then I will, off myself. If you do this, then this will happen. And oftentimes this is another way to try to control and to manipulate you. So a lot of times they'll also try to sabotage you, whether that's using a smear campaign, whether that's putting you down, whether like they'll do multiple things. We're not going to go into all the examples, but just like the idea is just getting into the place of like, if I can't have you, then nobody can have you. And whatever I have to do that, that's what I'm going to go forward because I want to make sure that I'm in control over you. Narcissist wants to be in control of the narrative, and typically you are a byproduct of that. So narcissist has to control you to maintain the narrative. Think about it this way, like you might be at the place with a narcissistic husband where you're getting ready to divorce. And when he's facing divorce, he's starting to threaten to tarnish your reputation. Whether that's like posting stuff, whether that's like putting like nudes out there, whether that's like saying like what a bad person you are, whether it's running a smear campaign, whatever it might be. It's like, hey, I'm going to threaten you to make sure you actually do what I want you to do. Or he's trying to use like legal means to make your life just a living hell, to make it extremely difficult so that you don't actually do the things that you know you need to do. You're like, well, this isn't going to be worth it, so I'm not going to do it. Like the whole goal is like, let's make life so difficult so that you can't move on. And if he can make your life so difficult, then maybe you'll come back. Maybe you'll realize, oh, you missed the best thing in ever. Like it doesn't make sense logically, but for the narcissist, a lot of times is trying to do whatever he can to still control. If I can't have you, then no one can have you. Let's make sure that this happens. And this happens like years and years after the relationship. Like we've seen people that have been 10 years out of that relationship, ex, divorced, everything, and they're still making their life miserable. They're still trying to control. They're still trying to manipulate because they almost can't handle the aspect that this person got away. This person actually got their freedom from them. One of the last things I'd say about narcissistic and narcissistic abuse and how the narcissist views you, like I mentioned, like owns you. Think of it this way: if you are a toy on the shelf. So like say for instance, the narcissist has this wonderful toy and they're like, oh, this is amazing, I love it. And then a new toy comes along and they're like, yeah, I don't love this one as much. And they set it up on the shelf. That's what they're doing with you. They're taking you and they're saying like, hey, I'll love you for a period of time until something comes along that I like better. Then I'll put you on the side and I'll just keep you around for amusement's sake. Like for the sake of me getting what I want in the moment. So like in the eyes of a narcissist, a lot of times one of the best ways to put it is you are a toy on the shelf that they can return to anytime they please. And so what you need to understand, you're like, oh, well, I'm just waiting for him to hope and come back and change. I think there's so much potential. And he's like, yeah, you just sit on the shelf right there. I'll come back to you when I actually want you. Okay? This is the piece that you need to understand. A narcissist thinks that he owns you. And so he's going to put you on a shelf and he's going to come back to you whenever he wants to try to get whatever he wants. This is where a narcissist is going to re-enter your life, seeking attention, seeking this emotional support, sexual validation, all of these things, and not acknowledge the thing that's happened in the past. Well, yeah, I treated you awful, but I put you on the shelf, so that means I can bring you back. Yeah, I lied to you, but that means I put you on the shelf, so I can still bring you back. I cheated on you, but it's okay. I don't have to talk about that. I put you on the shelf, so I can bring you back. It's all about the narcissist being in the control of the narrative. Think of it this way, like you've been no contact for months, And then all of a sudden he comes back in, he reappears, and he expects you to provide the same amount of emotional support, the same connection, just like comes back in like nothing ever happened. And part of it is because I need to diminish the pain that happened. I need to diminish that it even happened. So you start to question it. You start to think, well, it must not be that big of a deal. It must not really have affected him so much. Maybe I'm making it too much of a deal. And he's pulling you back off the shelf, being like, hey, time to start using and abusing you again. Let's go ahead and go through this. When I'm done with you, I'll put you back on the shelf. Like, you need to understand that narcissist doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your emotions. Narcissist cares about one thing. That is their image, how they actually look to themselves, to the world, to society, everything like that, but not about you. So a narcissist is going to take you, use you, push you up on the shelf, and then bring you back when they feel like they want to do something else with you or to you. So you need to understand a narcissist views like they own you. If they can't have you, then no one can have you. And a lot of times they're going to continue to move through life thinking and viewing that they have ownership, rights over you, your body, who you are, and not actually let you leave. Even if you move forward, they're still going to keep trying to come back, to hold on to you, to bring you back, to make sure that you're under their guise of their story of what they actually believe about themselves. If you want help with this, you can go to claritychallenge.net to start your journey to freedom today.